handshakes, anything like that going on. In fact, we want the entire church family to be involved and engaged and moving forward with us as we explore what God is doing in our midst. So just to give you an idea for this week, I'd like to share with you the meeting of the TLC. Now, TLC stands for the Transitional Leadership Committee. As most of you know, this committee is led by Donna Montgomery, who did a masterful job of our first meeting this last week. And we talked about a number of topics, but perhaps the topic that is most most on everyone's mind right now is, what are we going to call ourselves? We've been the First United Methodist Church in Ennis for all these years, and so where do we go from here with that? And I've heard people talk. They've offered all sorts of different names that might be used for us. But I think the easiest thing is to keep it simple, to keep it to be the most simple change that we can make. And that is to simply drop the word united and call ourselves the First Methodist Church of Ennis. After all, for those of you who know the history of the church, until 1968, we were the First Methodist Church. In 1968, when the Methodist Church merged with the United Brethren, United was entered in as part of our name. By simply dropping the word united, that allows us to meet the standard of disaffiliation from the United Methodist Church, but it allows us to continue our heritage as a Methodist church here in Ennis, Texas. In point of fact, if you ask the average person in the community, what is our name? What is the name of this church? They say, well, that's First Methodist. Of course it is. And so it seems as though this is the least disruptive way to make a change as we go forward. There are going to be many other things we have to do to apply for that name, to do things to make all this disaffiliation complete. But let me just give you a bit of a timetable, if I may. So for today, even though we've had a vote to disaffiliate, we are in fact still a United Methodist Church. Our vote to become disaffiliated from the United Methodist Church will be voted upon at the annual conference the first week in June of this year. When that vote is taken, if that vote is ratified, which at least as it occurred with the first round of disaffiliations back in September, this will be much of a formality. And so if we are then ratified, our disaffiliation is ratified by the conference, then the ball will be set in play so that we have from June until sometime in August to complete all the financial remuneration, to complete all the legal documents to make our break complete. And then at that point, we will accept an identity as an independent Methodist church. Where we go from there will be at the election of this church. We have time. We can look at all the various options, whether you become global, whether you become Free Methodist, whatever iteration, or whether you remain an independent Methodist church. The options are endless. My friends, I see a great future in this church here. At the United Methodist Church, the Methodist Church, whatever we want to call ourselves, I see great opportunities here because you are involved. Because this church family has decided that they're going to follow the Lord's leading and move boldly into a future that will be directed and led by our Lord Jesus Christ. So my friends, I bid you blessing this day. I bid you blessings this season, and anticipate with me the wonderful things God is going to be doing in our midst. Until we meet again, my friends, God bless you all. I'll see you next week. Back to my piano, or back to my organ.